Okay, we're gonna go over their basic positions for white belt, and it's your first basic things you learn when you come to class, but you still get tested on it. So to begin, we go to attention. Your left foot does all the movement out and back, okay? So when we go to the next move, it's ready position, or sometimes it's called chunbi. So ready position is here, and then attention, and then rest. So this last part is so you can see where your hands are supposed to go when you're in rest position. So when I'm here, I step out to rest, my hands go here. My thumbs interlock, and they rest on my belt. My hands rest on my belt, so I'm here. Attention, and bow. Notice when I bowed, I did not go all the way down. I kept my eyes looking forward, and I kept my back straight. I'll turn sideways and show you the same thing on the bow. So when I'm here, and attention, when I bow, I go here. So I can still see everything around me. Or fighting stance. So fighting stance from here, drop back fighting stance, ready, set, go. We drop back, and all you're doing is you're hopping into a walking stance. It's very important because we all know how to walk every day. So that's what's natural. So we're not going to get some crazy stance. It's going to be hard. So we go to our walking stance. So we step back, we go on the ball of our rear foot, and my hands just come up like this. And I can turn a little bit sideways, and I sink down a little. So I'm loaded. I can lunge forward, lunge back, sprawl, kick punch, do whatever I need to do from this position. Now my hands, I don't want my hands below my chin. I want them higher than you would normally think. Why? Because if my hands are here, I have to react to a punch or a strike coming to my temple. I have to see it, react to it, and get my hand up and my head to move. If my hands are just up, I have the opportunity to block very easily with very minimal movement. And I can shut things down if they come straight in front of me. So my hands are going to be higher. Open, closed, it depends on what you're training for. But from here, tight fist, my elbows are going to be in, not out, because it exposes my body. And this is your fighting stance. When we switch feet, it's here. Same exact stance. Switch feet, and we're here. That's your fighting stance. Okay, our 12 basic blocks or evasions. So we're going to start here. 1, I'm going to block down. My elbow, I have to reach. I don't want to keep it up high. My elbow stays here and it goes down. 2, notice I move my body. 2. 3 is a parry. 4 is a parry with your backhand. 5, we cover our head and we look forward. Our elbows pointing forward and we tuck our head in tight. 6, same thing other side. 7, because my hands are up, all I have to do is this. A little bit of a movement with my head and I block. 8, same thing with this side. A little bit of a movement with my head and I block. 9, lead leg shield. We do toes down because if your toes are up, we believe that's your next target is to kick their foot. 10. 11 is evading a kick. So they're trying to kick at you and you're just going to slip back out of the way and then move forward. So 11 and 12, if you have a partner, they kick with one leg, then the other. So 11, move. 12, move. So I'll go through all 12 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's your basic 12 blocks and evasions. Okay, so it's going to be a full step and a slide step. So from here, a full step is the most easy step you'll ever do. It's literally just walking. So from here, I do a full step forward. And the thing to remember is your hands have to switch. The hand that's in front of your body always has to be out the furthest. When I go backwards, I'm here. If I switch feet, I just switch, and it's the exact same thing. Here and here. So I'll switch again. Next is going to be a slide step. You look at my feet, it's foot to foot moving forward or backwards. So I'm here, except we're not going to put our feet together like this. This leaves you vulnerable to get your legs kicked out from under you. So from here, I'm going to step forward and this way, and that's a slide step forward, and then this way is a slide step back. So if I move a little bit smoother, it's here and then here. If I switch feet, slide step forward, slide step back. So my hands are like this, and I roll over my shoulder. If I go sideways, it's here. A rear leg tie kick. And we do this first because it's harder to learn how to open up your hips properly, right? And if you use your hips the way you're supposed to, that unlocks your power, your speed, your targeting, everything. A lot of people keep their hips too closed off, and it shuts down their range. So first thing, you got to get in your good fighting stance, right? And this is why we don't want to be in an old school martial arts stance, right? We want our feet here. To over-exaggerate, and this is how we teach our tie kicks to get started, is I have everybody step out and go to the ball of their foot. Okay, so they open that door to the ball of their foot, and then we always reach for the head. We reach for the head, and then I let this kick go. So I'm here, I open up my hips to the ball of my foot, I turn and I reach for the head, and then I let this kick fire, and I'm on the ball of my foot, and I send it through and then back. Now you can kick and spin, you can kick and drop, you can kick and recoil. There's a million different ways you can see it done. I would prefer for now we go here. We step and we open it up. We reach for the head, kick, and then down, okay? We step, we open it up, we reach, we kick, bring it back, and then down. Sometimes if you're hitting something really hard, you're going to kick and your foot's going to come down. And then you're going to step back. If you're doing it in the air a lot of times, you're going to kick and you're going to recoil kind of like a roundhouse kick, but we're still bringing it here, and then we step back. That is our rear leg tie kick. Okay, this is your rear leg push kick. Rear leg just meaning the one in behind. This is to move yourself away or move somebody away from you. I've got to bring my knee up to my chest, my foot is flat, and I'm going to push away. So a rear leg push kick. I go here, and I throw my hips, and then I get into my stance. And then I'll go with my other leg. Here, and that's a rear leg push kick. Okay, part of our white belt curriculum, I want you to do 4 rear leg push kicks. So I'm going to make sure I have room, and we're going to kick and walk. So we're going to do 4 rear leg push kicks. I go here. That's 4 rear leg push kicks, and I'm using my hips. Okay, next, a rear leg front kick. There's 3 parts to this kick. There's the chamber, the kick, and the recoil. And you're hitting with the ball of your foot. So you've got to pull your toes back. Your knee comes up. If you want to kick higher, your knee goes higher. You kick, and then you recoil, and you set it back down. Rear leg front kick. Rear leg front kick from the side view. Rear leg push kick from the side view. And I'm going to land in front. Rear leg push kick, landing in back. Using my hips. Okay, this next part is for the blue stripe on your white belt curriculum. So this is our basic striking. So from here we got to get in our good fighting stance. Our hands are up, and we're going to go jab. Jab is always with your lead hand. That's the hand that is in the front. So from here we throw a jab, and it comes back. And my fist has to twist, and then it twists coming back. So that's your jab. So jab, back and out. Next is going to be our cross. Our cross comes from our back hand, And when I do this, I'm gonna throw my punch, but when you have your belt on, I wanna see it twisting and moving. So when I do this, I twist my whole body. My power comes from my core, and I'm rooted into the ground. So my back foot is up on the ball of my foot, and my leg or my foot is twisting. So from here, I cross, and I come back. The other detail I want you to remember is this hand has to protect your face. So I go cross, and then bring it back. Cross, bring it back. You can put those together, so jab, cross, cross, jab, cross. So jab, cross. The next thing we have is a hook. Throwing a hook from here, it usually doesn't turn out that clean, right? Because I have to turn my body and throw it. So I like to have everybody throw hooks off of a combination. So off of my cross, I get to throw my hook. My arm is loaded, my body's loaded, so I'm here, I twist everything here, my core, my hips, my foot turns, my hand is now loaded, and then I throw this hook. Now, when you don't have gloves on, your fist might change from here to here, depending on how far away your partner is. So, if I have gloves on, hitting at this angle is perfect because my hands are taped up, like most fighters. But when you're doing this for real and you're trying to punch somebody, this angle, I'm most likely gonna hit out here and hurt my hand. So if I turn my hand this way, there's a better chance I'm gonna hit with my two main knuckles. So it's gonna go my cross, I twist, and I throw my hook. And I don't wanna be here, I'm here. So let's put those together. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. And then I turn back. So jab, cross, hook. The next one of our basics for your blue stripe is a lead leg shield. You're checking a leg. So from here, a kick is coming this way. I'm gonna turn my hips and my knee to face it. I'm gonna check it with the top part of my shin. This is where the biggest part of your bones are, is below your knee. I don't wanna catch it with my ankle. And I'm gonna have my toes down because if your toes are up, there's a bunch of thought on this. If your toes are up, it does tighten your muscles. However, it gives somebody a target being your foot. So our kickboxing instructor teaches us we want toes down. So when I do this, this is a leg check or a leg shield. Lead leg, tie shield is here. Check, down, check, down. And you only bring your leg up enough to hit that target. Now, if it's a higher kick, I'm gonna go here and my elbow is gonna come to my knee, like this. I'm in my fighting stance, but I'm here. And I'm doing that to protect in case I misjudged and they go over my knee, they're gonna kick my elbow instead of my body. And that's everything you guys need for your blue stripe of your white belt. So next is with your sparring stripe, your red stripe. You guys are gonna throw some of your boxing combos in there, and it's the first part of our boxing combo. So it goes here, it's very simple. It starts with a jab cross and then it builds. So we go jab cross, hook, cross, hook, cross. And then from there, we move into using our legs and our hands. So this next one, I'm gonna do a lead leg shield, plant my foot, my rear leg's gonna do a push kick. And I step back into my fighting stance. So the combo looks like this. Check, kick, and back. If I turn sideways, it's here. Check, kick, and back. Next is gonna be a lead leg check or a lead leg shield and a rear leg tie kick. So I'm here and I block, I land with my toes out. We went over the tie kick earlier. My toes are out. I reach for that head, throw that kick, and then I come back. So it's here. Check, kick. Sideways, check, kick. Remember, on our kick, we're reaching for that head. We're not doing the old school down. I'm reaching head level and pulling this way to get my power. Those are the basics you need for your red stripe for your white belt. Okay, this next section is our basic jiu-jitsu for our white belt. for our mixed martial arts system. So it's the basic positioning that you're gonna need for the ground. The first is going to be when you're in mount. So what I need to do is my knees are gonna base out and I sit down. This is settling my base down. I don't wanna be up high because I don't have a base below me. It's like building a triangle. My base needs to be widened down and rooted into the floor. So I'm here and I'm rooted down like this. The next part, I'm gonna be here, not leaning with my head down like this. I'm gonna be here moving. It's going to change if you're doing jiu-jitsu only or if you're doing fighting, right? If I'm doing jiu-jitsu only, I'm okay if my head is a little bit closer, but if I could get struck in the face, I kind of want my head up a little more. So it's gonna change based on what we're practicing. So your mount position is here, my base is solid, and if they try to throw me off, you need to be mobile. So you need to be able to catch yourself and come back. Catch yourself and come back. These are called your posts. So I post and I come back. The other thing I can use is my knee or my foot. So when I get thrown this way, I might use my knee and come back. So this knee catches my balance and then I come back. And then the very last thing you could use as a post, which is not always recommended, but sometimes you have to, is literally your head. If you're getting thrown over, sometimes you post your head and then you push yourself back. So that's the basics of your mount without a partner. Okay, so this next part is your guard. Okay, and we're gonna do, there's closed guard and there's open guard, and there's a bunch of different guards. But for a brand new white belt for the mixed martial arts system, we're gonna go over a closed guard. So my partner would be here in between my legs. I wrap my feet around them and I cross my feet, and now I have control of them. Remember, when you're in guard, you're actually very strong. So you can move their body with your knees and your feet. You can pull them into you, and you can also push them away from you to make space or bring them close. Notice my head is up. I don't want to get lazy here like this. I want my head up so I can work and move. In jiu-jitsu, I want my elbows in tight, and we're gonna plant them down here on the mat. When I'm fighting, it's gonna change because I need to protect my face. So I have to be mobile. So your guard is here. We close our legs, we wrap around them. It's kind of like hands. And then I would grab a hold of their lapel and then their sleeve or their elbow. And this is your closed guard without a partner. So this is just the position you would get to. Just one more angle for your closed guard so you guys can see what my feet are doing. So my head is up, the person's right here, and I wrap around them and I cross my feet if I can, and then I pull. And I pull them in and then I push them away. I have those options. So your feet come across, either side does not matter. Cross your feet and they're stuck in between here. If in jiu-jitsu only, my elbows are down. If I'm fighting, my elbows are tight, but my hands are here to protect my face. So this is your position. Okay, the next part is cross-side or side control without a partner, just so you can get in the right position. There's a few different ways we do this based on what we are doing and what our partner's doing. We'll show you a couple of them right now. So I'm imagining their head is here and their body's down this way. So my knee comes up towards their ear. And on this one, my knee's gonna go into their body or their belt. I'm gonna reach over, elbow squeezes until I hit their body, and this one's gonna go over their head and squeeze back to their face or their ear. I'm here, or I can be here. I can go under their arm, or I can go under their head and clasp this way. So this is your basic side control or cross side. Next, sometimes I will straighten this leg out and I'll put my hip down to get pressure and take away space. Then I can be over their head or under. And then sometimes I'll switch. I'll put this knee back to their ear. I'll put this hip on the ground, but then I take this hand and I put it on the same side. So I'm here with my pressure. So these are your basics for your cross side or your side control. Most of the time right now, if I say go to your cross side or go to your side control, I want you to turn and get like this or like this. Okay, one of the important parts of your jiu-jitsu stripe, which is one of your black stripes on your belt as a white belt, is just being able to tap out. Even though it sounds really, really simple, I want to make sure you guys are tapping out correctly. As easy as it sounds. So let's not get in the habit of tapping lightly on the mat. Because what happens is in a jiu-jitsu class or in a loud class, it gets really loud sometimes. Sometimes there's music playing, there's people talking, getting instruction, learning. You might not hear that little tap when it's loud in here. So what I want you to do is tap 3 times on your partner, wherever you can. Tap on their leg, tap on their body, tap on their head. And the next step is you can also say tap, tap, tap. If your hands are tied up and your legs are tied up, you might not imagine it now, but someday it's going to happen. You're going to go against someone advanced and your legs and your hands will not be able to tap. When that happens and it starts hurting, before you tear something, you need to say tap, tap, tap. So we tap 3 times on our partner, or we say tap, tap, tap. And you can tap on them and say tap, tap, tap at the same time. This is all for your safety, because if you get hurt in training, it's going to prolong your journey. You're not going to be able to train for a while, and your friends lose their training partners. So we're going to go over our mount with a partner. There's a couple things with mount. There's a normal mount position and what I call a high mount. So for now, we're in our normal mount position. My base is down. If my partner was a lot bigger than me, sometimes I won't be able to get my knees down on the ground and you have to adjust it. But for now, we're going to say our partner, like Coach Brandon, I can get my knees on the ground. We're here. He's got his elbows in and protected so that I can't easily submit them. My positioning is going to be here, just like this. If he lifts his hip and goes to throw me either way, I can catch myself. I'm also squeezing, and then when his hips go down, I go back down. I don't want to put my hands too close to him. He's going to grab them and try to use that to throw me off of him. Sideways. Okay, here's your side angle for your mount position. So when I'm in mount, I'm here like this. I'm squeezing with my knees, but my knees are also in contact with the ground. If I was going to go up to what I call a high mount, which is really advantageous if you're striking. So if we're fighting, I can go to a high mount and I can start punching in the face and have a pretty good base. What I do is I stuff my knees up towards his armpits. So I scoot them up, and then I'm here. Now I can strike here, and when he lifts his hip for a typical bump and roll, he still throws me forward, but he doesn't push me forward as far as he would if I'm back here sitting on his belt. Look how high I went. I absolutely lose my base. So this is mount from your side view. Okay. Cross side or side control. I'll do it facing you guys so you can see the arm part. For this one, I'm going to do both of my knees in. So my knee comes to his hip. My knee goes towards his ear. This one's going to come to his ear, my elbow. This one comes to his body. And from here, I'm going to grab his arm. So this hooks on, and I'm here. And I can hang on like this. So this is my positioning for cross side from here. If I straighten this leg, it goes out and my hip goes down to put more pressure on him. I can also go under his head and clasp and come to here. So this is your basic positioning for top side control or top cross side. Go ahead that way. So here's your second angle for cross side or side control, right? So my knees, I'm gonna do knees to the hip and knee to the ear for this one. So my knees come in, his arm is here. I'm gonna go under his head and I grab the back of his arm and I'm here like this. Okay, so this is my top position here. The reason you want your knee in tight is if my knee gets back, he has room to make space and he'll start getting out, he'll start escaping. If my lower leg is not in tight, he has room to move his hips, get his knee in between, start making space, and he can start escaping. So here's my position one more time. I'm in tight. I go here, and I clasp. Or I go over, hip down, and I'm really focusing on this arm. So these are your positions for cross-side or side control. So when he goes to do this bump and roll, he's got to bring his feet in all the way to his butt. His heels go to his butt as close as he can, right? And some people that's uncomfortable, but you'll get used to it. This allows his hips to reach and get higher up in the air. Okay, if his feet were further away, his hips are only going to go up a little bit, and then they stop. We want to get that person up off the ground. So he brings his heels in, he lifts his hips up, and that gives him the lift that we want. Now from here, he's going to do a bump and roll from a side view. So he brings his feet in, he traps my arm, pulls it in, he lifts his hips up high. Look, I have no base, and then he rolls. And then he comes up to immediately grabbing my biceps, and look, he fixed and he reestablished his base. So he sat in and he sunk down. Now he's still in control. And we're gonna lock up. So I'm gonna reach up and cup the back of his neck. He's gonna cup the back of my neck. Now I'm going to grab his tricep here. He's gonna grab mine on the other side. What we're learning to do is how to turn and move somebody's bodies from tying up. You'll notice Coach Brandon's going to go ahead and tuck his elbow in so he has better control over my body from here. I'm going to try to do the same thing on that side. So now we're both gripping and grabbing. The goal with tilt to side control is we are both fighting to pull and push to see who can get the other person over. So if Coach Brandon pulls me, I'm going to go away. You guys will see how he does this. He turns my head, pulled in on my arm, and then he goes over to cross-side or side control. Now we'll do it this way. If I do this to him, the key that you guys probably didn't see is when I go to pull, he's collapsing this arm in. This takes away his base and his structure. Here, now I can turn him, and then I would fall into cross-side or side control. Okay, last thing. If you're going against a bigger person, we're going to add a little cheater move in here. I'm going to pull and push too. So I'm going to pull a little bit and get him to move his foot. Now, if I physically can't pull him enough, if I'm quick, I'm going to put my knee right here, and I'm going to collapse his arm and go at the same time. So I step, collapse, and trip him. Now I go down. Yeah. So this next part we're going to do with a partner so you can see why we do the parry a jab and return a jab. So his jab's going to be with his front hand. He's aiming at my nose. So from here, he throws a jab. I parry this jab, and then I throw a jab back. And that's my goal. So he comes in with a jab, I go block, and I punch him right back. His hand is still up. So he does it again, block, hit him back, and we're set. Now we're going to do the parry across, return with a cross. So he shoots or he fires from this side. I'm going to block it, and then I'm ready to throw my own cross. So I block, and I throw a cross back right to his face. So from here, he throws his cross, I parry the cross, and I punch right back at him, returning that cross. So parry across, return across. We'll do it one more time. I go block, punch, and then I step back. Notice both of us when we're punching, we're twisting our bodies because that's how you get your power. Okay, this next part, we're going to go off of the wrist grab. So he grabs me here, and we'll show from the other angle as well. I make a fist. I'm going to grab, and my elbow, I'm not going to let this pull me if I can help it. I'm going to grab, I get a strong base, and I'm going to twist and turn. I twist, turn, and I pull fast to try to get that to release. Now I can re-engage, or I can turn and run. So this is the same side wrist grab from a different angle so you guys can see. So I'm not going to keep my hand open on this one. I'm going to make a fist so I have something to grab onto. So I grab, I pull this way, and then I can run or I can re-engage. Now remember what we said, you might have to loosen them up. So to loosen his grip up, I never just want to do this. He will win every time. I might have to punch, or I might have to palm, or kick, or knee, and then pull my wrist out. But the idea of someone's trying to grab your wrist and take you or pull you away, you absolutely do not stop fighting. But you never just pull, pull, pull. You've got to twist and get that arm out. So it's here, I loosen him up however I have to, make my fist, twist, turn, and I pull away, and now I'm free.